Hello everyone, this is Akhilesh Kumar PGT-English, Tengavalley. Dear friends, I hope you all will be fine. Today we are going to deal with the topic The Enemy by Pearl S. Buck. Dear students, before going to start the topic The Enemy, we have a brief description of the author Pearl S. Buck. Here we have image of the author Pearl Stricker Buck. Her lifespan was from 1892 to 1973. She was an American writer and novelist. She had a Chinese name, Sai Zhenzhua, as she spent her childhood in China. Being the daughter of missionaries, she was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 1932 and the Nobel Prize in Literature in the year 1938. This award, Nobel Prize, that is the biggest, highest award in literature, in the field of literature. Okay. As you all people know that this topic is from our supplementary book vistas. That's why I will tell you only some important points so that you can develop your understanding properly. It's clear? First of all, we have a brief introduction of this topic. Listen carefully. This story, the story of the enemy, the story is set during the Second World War, and we people are aware about this Second World War. A Japanese doctor finds an American soldier at his doorstep. He is in a dilemma that being a doctor, should he save the wounded man, or being a Japanese, should he hand over the enemy to the army? Okay, this is the main theme or main point of this topic. As we people many times face such dilemma, what to do when we have two options? That time we are in conflict. What to do, what not to do? The same situation Dr. Sadao faced when he found an American soldier at his doorstep, and that time America and Japan were bitter enemies. We know this. Now, what was his dilemma? That being a doctor, we people know what is the duty of a doctor. Now he was in confusion. What to do? Should he save the wounded man, or being a Japanese? That time there was war between America and Japanese during Second World War. So how could he save an enemy? He thought, should he hand over the enemy to the army? Now this was his conflict. And when you will read the topic page by page, every pages, you will find how Dr. Sadao overcame his dilemma. It's clear? After a brief introduction of the topic, the enemy, we have some characters Okay, the first one is Dr. Sadao. He is the protagonist or the main character of this story, the enemy. As the topic is the enemy, here he is an accomplished surgeon. He was renowned, well-known surgeon in Japan who resolves successfully the conflict. As I have already told you, he was in conflict whether he should save that wounded soldier who was his enemy, or he should hand over that enemy to the army. That was his conflict, but in the end he resolves his conflict between his patriotic duty and his duty to save the life of people. Now this point here, patriotic duty and his duty to save the life of people, this from here sometimes, not sometimes, many times question has been asked. Okay, so when you will read the story, you will find being a doctor, he did his job, and being a Japanese for his nation, he did that work also. He did both work. So what was necessary for him, he did first, and after that, when he listened the voice of his patriotic sense, he did that job also. Okay, so when you will go through the topic, you will find how he resolves his conflict, and this is very important point. Questions are asked from here. Okay, so first one is Dr. Sadao. Second one is Hannah. Who is Hannah? Hannah is Sadao's wife who helps her husband in operating on the American despite her physical discomfort. Hannah, she was wife, but she helps her husband in operating on the American despite her physical discomfort. She doesn't like to wash the body of a stranger who was enemy, but she helped her husband in operation. In this way, she was a good companion. As wife should be, must be, she did that part. In this story, she also plays very important role in this topic, the enemy. After that, Tom. This is the American soldier. He is a typical American soldier, thinking that most Japanese are cruel and not human. This was the thinking of that American soldier, Tom, who used to think regarding Japanese, how people are. As all Americans thought Japanese were cruel and they were not human. This was the same thinking of America. You will find this theme also, that racism, conflict, nationalism, everything you will find. Okay, the last one is the general of Japan. He is a selfish old man, only wanting Sadao to make him recover from his illness. And when you will go through the topic, you will find how the general was a selfish old man. Because when Sadao informed about that American soldier, but that general didn't care. He forgot. Why he forgot? Only for his own self. That time he was ill. He thought if he arrests that Dr. Sadao, then who will take care of him during his illness? That's why he ignored. Okay. So these are main four characters of this story, the enemy. After characters, we have themes of this topic, the enemy. Dear friends, listen carefully. You will find these themes. Number one, decisions and duty. Okay. Now, in The Enemy, this story is set in Japan during World War II. A severely injured American prisoner of war named Tom was up on the beach alongside the secluded home of a Japanese doctor named Dr. Sadao Hoki, and his wife Hana. For the bulk of the story, Sadao struggles to reconcile his duty as a surgeon, which goes directly against the grain of his duty as a loyal Japanese citizen. Okay, so you will find how did Dr. Sadao take decisions and how he performed his duty being a doctor. Okay, and this is very lengthy, and if you want to read fully this first theme, decisions and duty, now you will find the link from here. Okay, so if you want, you can read. Otherwise, when you will go through the topic, you will find the first theme, decisions and duty. Is clear? And after that, second thing, that is humanization, kindness and antagonism. Okay, as being a doctor, Dr. Sadao showed good humanity with that wounded American soldier who was his enemy. Okay, and kindness, everything you will find in this story. Okay, third one is racism and nationalism. You will find this theme also in the topic. Okay, it's your duty to go through the topic and find out these themes. My dear students, we have a brief summary of this topic, the enemy. Listen carefully. The Enemy is a story set in Japan during the Second World War. In this story, an injured American army man washes up on the beach near the home of a Japanese surgeon, whose name was Dr. Sadao Hoki. Although he has lived in America and follows a modern profession, Dr. Sadao's family lives a traditional Japanese life. Dr. Sadao is in a dilemma to leave the American man to die, to throw him back into the sea, or to hand him over to the army or to save his life. This was his dilemma. He reluctantly takes him home and decides to save his life. The presence of an enemy disturbs his family life. His wife is against his idea of operating upon and taking care of the soldier. The servants of the house opposes the idea and leave their master. Yet Dr. Sadao shelters him, operates upon him, and saves his life. This was the duty which he did. Out of the fear of being accused of sheltering an enemy, he narrates the incident to a general in the Japanese military. As a patriotic, he did this job also. He informed to that general about that enemy. The general helps Dr. Sadao and offers to get the man killed by hired killers. However, the killing doesn't take place, and after waiting for 3 nights. Okay, now listen carefully. Being a doctor, he did his job first, and after that, being a patriotic person, he also did that job. He informed the general of military about that enemy, and then when that general promised him that by hired killers he would kill that enemy. Okay, but that general forgot, and The doctor waits for 3 days, 3 nights, and after that, Dr. Sadhu thinks of getting rid of the American himself. He arranges a boat for the man to help him reach the nearby island. He provides him necessities like food and clothing to survive till he finds a Korean fishing boat which could rescue him. Now here you can see that theme, humanization, humanity, you will find here, kindness. He provides him necessities like food, clothing. Okay, Dr. Sadhu wonders that why did he save the life of an enemy, and in the end you will find what is the reason why he saved the life of that wounded enemy. Okay, now when you will read the topic, that time the enemy will occur, the word enemy will come again and again, and total scenario of this topic will be around this enemy. And the role of doctor, the role of Dr. Sadhu, what he does, why he does, everything you will find here. It's clear? So this is a brief summary of the topic, the enemy. Now this is assignment for you. We have only 4 questions in short answers and 3 questions in long answers. Write the answers in your notebook. It's clear? Dear friends, I hope this audio lesson will help you, but you have to go through the topic thoroughly. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand this topic easily. And this is very lengthy topic also, many pages. That's why go through page by page. Okay. Once again, thank you everyone.